Everyone knows the story of Tom Brady. How a 6th round pick in the 2000 NFL Draft finished his 23-year career with more Super Bowl rings than any individual franchise after winning 6 with the Patriots and another with the Buccaneers. Yet, despite having the GOAT in the building, the Patriots, and later on the Buccaneers, continued to draft quarterbacks to back up Brady, hoping to find another diamond in the rough. But how many actually panned out, and who were those quarterbacks? Despite winning the Super Bowl in 2002 with Tom Brady at quarterback, the Patriots took LSU quarterback Rohan Davey in the 4th round of the 2002 draft. In Baton Rouge, Davey set school records with more than 3,300 yards of offense and won an SEC title in his lone season as the full-time starter. But in the NFL, Davey played in just 8 games, all with the Patriots, and completed just 8 passes for 88 yards. Davey did snag 2 rings as the backup and won an NFL Europe title before eventually retiring. In the 2003 NFL Draft, the Patriots selected Texas Tech standout Cliff Kingsbury in the 6th round. As a senior under the late Mike Leach, Kingsbury threw for more than 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns and was voted the nation's top quarterback. In the NFL, Kingsbury completed just 1 pass for 17 yards as a Jet in 2005, and despite missing the 2003 season due to an arm injury, he also received a Super Bowl ring. Kingsbury eventually made his way back to the NFL as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, where he was for 4 years before retreating to Thailand after the 2022 season. New England next took Matt Castle out of USC in the 7th round in 2005. Castle completed just 20 passes for 192 yards over 4 years in college. In the pros, Castle appeared in 14 games as a backup over his first 3 years. But in week 1 of the 2008 season, Tom Brady, then the reigning MVP, tore his ACL in the first quarter against the Chiefs. Castle finished the game with 13 completions for 152 yards and a touchdown in a 17-10 win. In his first NFL start the next week, Castle threw for 165 yards in a 19-10 win over Brett Favre's Jets. Castle finished the season with more than 3,600 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. The Patriots finished 11-5, but somehow ended up missing the playoffs. Ahead of the 2009 draft, Castle was franchise tagged and then traded with Mike Vrabel to the Chiefs for a 2nd round pick. Castle then went on to sign a 6-year, $62 million deal with the Chiefs. Castle missed the preseason and week 1 of 2009 with an MCL injury, but started the rest of the 2009 season, throwing for 2,900 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions while going 4-11. In 2010, Castle and the Chiefs bounced back, going 10-6 and winning the AFC West, but Castle won 4 games in 2011 and wouldn't match the total for the rest of his career. While Castle never ended up winning a ring, he did parlay his one big season in New England into a $65 million career. In 2008, the Patriots selected San Diego State quarterback Kevin O'Connell. O'Connell put up more than 9,000 total yards and 67 touchdowns for the Aztecs. In the NFL, he only completed 4 passes for 23 yards. O'Connell was released in August ahead of the 2009 season and wouldn't play in the regular season again. O'Connell began his NFL coaching career back in 2015 and was hired as the head coach of the Vikings in 2022, a year after winning a Super Bowl as the Rams offensive coordinator. After Zach Robinson set the then Oklahoma State record with more than 10,000 total yards in his college career, he was taken by the Patriots in the 7th round in 2010. The Patriots cut Robinson ahead of the regular season, and he never played in an NFL game. These days, Robinson is the quarterback's coach for the Rams under Sean McVay and also has a Super Bowl ring as an assistant. In 2011, the Patriots took Ryan Mallett out of Arkansas in the 3rd round. Mallett started his career at Brady's alma mater, Michigan, before playing his last 2 years for the Razorbacks, throwing for more than 8,300 yards and 69 touchdowns over 3 years in college. In 2012, Mallett made his NFL debut in relief of Brady, completing 1 of 3 passes for 17 yards in a 45-7 blowout win over the Rams. Mallett was traded to the Texans for a 6th round pick ahead of the 2014 season. His first of 4 starts in 2014 came in week 11 against the Browns when he threw his first NFL touchdown pass to J.J. Watt. Mallett finished his career with just over 1,800 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. In the 2014 draft, the Patriots Patriots took Jimmy Garoppolo in the second round. At Eastern Illinois, Jimmy G won the Walter Payton Award, the FCS's equivalent of the Heisman Trophy. Garoppolo threw for more than 13,000 yards and 118 touchdowns over 4 years in college, crushing school and conference record books. Garoppolo made his first 2 starts in Week 1 and 2 of the 2016 season after Brady received a 4-game suspension for Deflategate. Jimmy G threw for 498 yards and 4 touchdowns in a pair of wins. But in Week 3, he picked up a shoulder injury, which kept him out until Brady returned. On Halloween of 2017, the Patriots traded Jimmy G to the 49ers, where he would spend the next 6 years of his career. Garoppolo has a 38-17 record as a starter in San Francisco, but has held the 49ers back in the big moments, with a Super Bowl win within reach. In terms of backups to Brady, Jimmy G has certainly had the most successful career, which isn't too surprising since he was the highest drafted of them. Still, Jimmy G has 2 rings as a backup in New England, has earned more than $125 million, is a beloved teammate, and is also pretty handsome. The Patriots went back to the quarterback well in 2016, taking NC State's Jacoby Brissett in the 3rd round. Brissett threw for more than 5,000 yards and 42 touchdowns in his 2 years as a starter in Raleigh. As a rookie, Brissett started weeks 3 and 4 after the suspension to Brady and Jimmy G's injury, winning 27-0 in Week 3 before being blanked 16-0 in Week 4. He then spent the rest of the year on IR after picking up a thumb injury. Ahead of the 2017 season, Brissett was traded to the Colts for wideout Philip Dorsett. That season, he started 15 games and went 4-11. Brissett started 15 more games in 2019 after the shocking retirement of Andrew Luck, this time going 7-8 with 18 touchdowns and just 6 interceptions. Brissett then backed up Phillip Rivers in 2020 and Tua Tagovailoa in 2021 when he started 5 games. Last season, Brissett went 4-7 with the Browns, while Deshaun Watson served his suspension. If nothing else, Brissett has more years left as a backup, with more upside in the right system. In 2018, the Patriots drafted LSU's Danny Etling in the 7th round. In his 2 years starting for the Tigers, Etling started 23 games and threw for more than 4,500 yards and 27 touchdowns. He took Auburn quarterback Jarrett Stidham in the 4th round. In 2 years with the Tigers, Stidham threw for more than 5,900 yards and 36 touchdowns in 27 games. During his rookie year, Stidham threw 2 passes for 14 yards in blowout relief duty against the Jets, and then in 2020, Stidham backed up fellow Auburn quarterback Cam Newton. Stidham didn't start, but he did appear in 5 games, completing 22 passes for 256 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. In 2022, Stidham was reunited with his old offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, in Las Vegas after being traded for a 7th round pick. Stidham finally made his first NFL start in Week 17 against the 49ers. All Stidham did was throw for 365 yards and 2 touchdowns, though his 2 picks were costly and a 37-34 overtime loss. In Week 18, Stidham threw for 219 yards, a touchdown, and a pick against the Chiefs. After Tom Brady's move to Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers drafted just 1 quarterback during his time there in Tampa, taking Florida quarterback Kyle Trask in the 2nd round in 2021. Trask was a Heisman finalist in 2020 and finished his Florida career with more than 7,300 yards and 69 touchdowns in 28 games. Trask didn't appear in any games in 2021, but in 2022, he did play in 1, completing 3 passes for 23 yards. Unsurprisingly, these backups performed mostly at the level they were drafted at. Still, almost all of them at least finished their career with a ring as a backup, a payday somewhere else, or a professional coaching gig, thanks in part to their time in New England. As a former backup, Taylor Heineke said on the Pat McAfee show, being a backup quarterback is probably one of the best jobs in America, and it surely doesn't get any better than being Tom Brady's backup.